Your information.
Did we talk about the possible leak from the Marvel Legends figures?
I mean, we're live
Don't.
now. I don't know if we did or not. I don't think we did. I mean, we definitely didn't do it on the podcast.
No, we didn't. So the new wave is Sylvie and then all the What If characters.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of the What If characters has Marvels in front of their name, and generally the Marvels in front of their name is denoted for a live action character, like meaning that they appear in the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
and that character is Captain Carter.
So the assumption is that she was gonna show
That
up.
Haley Atwell will show up in one of the movies. Yep,
Well, good, because I feel like they didn't use her enough.
I would like to see her.
Oh, I just zoomed in on my face. I did not mean to do that. Oh no!
Ugh.
Literally, nobody wants to see that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Granted, I guess I could have also just watched the show. I did watch
Yeah,
it. I just didn't watch it
I
all.
watched. Yeah, I watched half of season one. I think.
So,
How long did that run for? 3 seasons?
No, I think I'd only got two.
no, 6 seasons in a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So,
absolutely right.
so first of all, since I can definitely notice it on the camera. I don't know if it's coming out as clear on the Twitch stream in the YouTube VOD later, but I can see it in the Discord call at least. Can you see the fucking very awkward sunburn across just this diamond or triangle in my face?
Yes, it is unpleasant.
So I had to go to an extended outdoor meeting today, and I'm still masked up when I'm near anybody, pretty much when I'm just out at all. So I had a mask on for hours, and my hair fucking sloops over to the side here. So just this diamond was, or I keep saying diamond, this triangle of my face was exposed directly in the sun. So I have a fucking gnarly sunburn, which can be, I guess, accentuated by looking at that. That's how burnt my face is. By looking at my arm there. So that's a great story. But I did want to kick things off not with that, but with yeah, I think it's clear to you guys and clear to a lot of people, listening and watching that, I've taken a corner with my eating. I eat healthy primarily, and whatever, all these choices I make. And I don't really indulge in fast food really at all anymore. So whenever I do, it's a journey of sorts. And I decided, I was like, the other day I really fucking needed to just like eat something very quickly because I was out for work and I was just starving. So I said, fuck it, there's a Burger King right here. Let's just grab something quick. I don't know how quote unquote new this spicy chicken sandwich is.
The chicken?
Yes, the chicken.
The chicken is fairly new.
I'm just gonna say it. Might actually be the best chicken sandwich at a fast food restaurant. Like, it's really fucking good. Like, I was very, very, it was very tasty.
Yeah, I had it once or twice. I don't remember my feelings on it. I think I was left underwhelmed, but honestly, it might have just been from the Burger King I went to, because I feel like I got it from the one that's closest to me, and that place is always.
Is that the one near Target or no?
Yeah,
That's the one I went to. That's the one I went to.
I was gonna ask if you had it delivered, Mike.
Did skunks rummage through it before you take a bite?
Skunks definitely did not. The only rodents roaming around my house are.
Did I tell you this story, Dom, or no?
Skunk story?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely saw a picture of the bag with like.
But I didn't tell you the story though.
I don't think so.
So that means, Mike, did I not tell this story on the podcast ever?
I don't remember. I think you asked me this before, and I said.
I mean, if Dom doesn't know, then I definitely didn't. I mean, I guess
think I had said something along the lines of no.
To be fair, I check out of the podcast pretty often, so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'll just quickly summarize it then. One night, Jen and I, we were actually I'm pretty sure we were recording the podcast. We just needed something to eat late. We ordered Burger King. I thought I had made myself clear that. Okay, well, Jade's saying that we did talk about this, and then I won't bore anybody. Yeah, I don't know. Skunks hit my fucking Uber Eats delivery at one point, so there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Burger King chicken sandwich, I was very impressed. I also kind of want to take a step back. I might want to walk back my statement and say flat out best chicken sandwich, spiced chicken sandwich, because I mean Wendy's is like the go-to for me. It's like the staple. Again, I'm not eating fast food all the time anymore, but I also haven't had the Popeyes sandwich, and I feel like a lot of people go to bat for that.
Yeah, I think you should round things out by getting one of those. I mean, yeah, that one. Let's see who else is out there. I feel like I need to try a KFC chicken sandwich at this point.
Do they have spicy chicken sandwiches at KFC?
I feel like they had commercials basically
They
saying, like,
definitely
hey, you know,
they
yeah,
definitely had
the double
chicken
down.
littles. Chicken littles.
Oh yeah, those were good. I did like those.
Yep.
I haven't really fucked with KFC like in a big way in a long time. Like I feel like there was a point in time where I'd get KFC often as my fast food choice. Like I forget what they were called, the bowls. They were
Oh
like
yes.
Buckets, weren't they?
no, they had like they were
No.
like meals. It was
Yeah.
like potatoes, gravy, chicken, like everything was just in a bowl.
It was essentially like a what is the shepherd? It was like a shepherd's pie, but
pie.
like
So,
with
yeah.
like KFC food.
Yeah, and that was kind of my jam for a bit. I
Yeah.
feel like we were probably in high school when that was going on, but I mean, unless it's still a menu item, I don't know if it is or not.
I mean, I don't know how many times we went to the drive-thru and I got a gallon of Mountain Dew.
We did do that a lot.
Wait, they had huge fucking Mountain Dews there?
Yes.
Yeah, they had the child size from Parks and Rec. KFC actually like had it. It was a gallon of Mountain Dew.
Why can I not place this right now? I mean, we must not have went to fucking KFC
It
that
was
often.
absurd that we would get that, and then that would just be like our drink for the rest of the day.
Do they still have this size soda?
I doubt it.
I doubt it, and I
Maybe-
just don't go to KFC.
Maybe I'm
as much.
confusing it with because I feel like Wendy's at a point also had very large sodas. Like you could get a fucking diesel Wendy's soda. Maybe I'm just confusing Wendy's soda with KFC soda then.
Probably.
But fuck. I mean, I feel like the most memorable old fast food situation with us is, for me at least, is going to the Burger King at the fucking Square One food court and getting all those fucking tender crisp sandwiches, storing the sauce, always having the buffalo sauce on deck. Those
They cut us off nationally.
Honestly-
they just stopped giving those out altogether.
I feel like in its heyday, like that tender crisp sandwich, that was probably the best fast food chicken sandwich. I don't know why they ever.
The Darius Rucker tender crisp sandwich.
Is that what it is now? Is that a thing?
No, he used to do the commercial for the spicy tender crisp.
I don't know
I didn't know
why
that.
Dom's such a Hootie fan.
Is that
I'll,
who that is? Hootie and the Blowfish?
It's
Yeah.
it's the guy from Hootie.
Is he a solo artist now as well? Because I know
Yeah,
that
he's
name.
he's a country singer.
Okay, that's why I thought he was a country singer. That's why when you said Hootie, I was like, oh, I'm way off base. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a good sandwich. I was very impressed. Again, I could have just been very fucking hungry, and I also don't
You've been just very hungry.
don't
yeah,
get fast
but
food that often anymore. But it was hot. Like it felt like they fucking the fries were also like perfectly cooked. And again, I'm not usually a big Burger King's fries stan. I was very impressed with this outing, this little endeavor. I think it was on Wednesday. I was very satisfied with Wednesday. Like I did not regret doing that on Wednesday. Most of the time in the last 12 months, when I do get fast food, I immediately regret eating the fast food. This shit was not a regret. Not like this shit was like, oh damn, do I get Burger King like next week again? Like, am I going down a fucking hole here? Is this the thing that breaks me? I really hope this is. I don't know. I can't click on these things. What are you sending?
I sent you the Darius Rucker
Okay.
Burger King.
I was really hoping it was gonna just be a picture of the Wendy's soda.
Oh no, I
Or
can
the
see if I can
KFC
find
soda.
that picture too.
But yeah. Anyways, so that's I wanted to mainly Mike, because I know Mike dabbles in fast food often, probably more often than anyone else. of us. So I wanted to see
Yeah.
if you had an opinion on that Burger King chicken sandwich
Yeah,
because
I might have to give it another shot. I know I had it at least once. I might have had it twice.
mhm.
I'm willing to go for a second and or third time. I don't know when I'll do it, but like
Yeah,
just to make sure I know the sandwich.
yeah, it's definitely I there. I feel like that sandwich that I had on Wednesday was good to the point of like this isn't just me being too hungry, like in not having fast food for a long time.
Yeah.
Like this was actually like a very delicious sandwich for fast food. Anyways, we're talking about this for way too long. Welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about spicy, tender, crisp, fucking gallon sodas from fast food. Too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Friday evening is the anime senpai himself, the PTC Movie Club month picker, Michael Desir. That sounded better in my head, and then when I said it, I was like, "This is actually a terrible intro for Mike." I apologize, Mike. I actually just fucked up your
Yeah,
intro.
you know, I I could see it in your eyes and I could hear it in your words that you were trying to get someplace and you didn't actually know how to get there.
So, like,
You just started talking and then you're like, "Yeah, this will make sense." I've been there. I'll start a sentence and think to myself, "All right, this will make sense by the time I get to the end of the thought." And then I
Yeah.
get there and I realize, "Nope, this shouldn't have happened."
like if you're a regular listener to the show, you understand. Like when I intro Mike, Mike's the anime senpai. You know, for a little bit after a couple of previous PTC movie clubs, I threw in the swingers reference because it made us all laugh maybe that one time, and then I kept doing it because I don't know when a joke ends. And then for Todd and for Dom, and it's usually the same string of this is how I'm introing these people. But I wanted to mix it up and go off the cuff, and apparently I just shouldn't go off the cuff. I was like, oh, it's Mike's movie this month. He's the PTC Movie Club picker. It sounded good in my head because like the PTC and the P and like the alliteration, but it was actually too long of a string to actually sound good. And then it just sounded weird because I like realized it sounded bad as I was saying it, and then I tried to stop saying it, but it just kept going. And that's kind of that's the
Yeah,
way
no,
the news goes.
Improv is not your strong suit. It's
No,
not mine
oh
either.
no, it's definitely not. I'm
Where we are now.
I'm a good six man. You know what I mean? I'm a good six man in the improv group. Like let me be not the star of the show. Let me be in the background, and like maybe I'll mumble stuff because I'm not confident in it, and then maybe I'll blurt out something at some point that like, oh, maybe someone else can riff off of and turn it into something actually funny. But most of the time, just throw me in the back. I'll be on stage. I'll be a body. I'll fill the gap. I'll fill the void. Actually, I think I wouldn't be terrible at improv, but I would need to be with someone that I had good chemistry with. I couldn't just go up there with like anybody and riff. It'd have to be like, it'd have to be the gang. Anyways, rounding us out this evening. I almost just called him the Fortnite father. I mean, I guess that also kind of works, but the Disney daddy. Wow, I'm just fucking off the rails. Dominic 40. He's wearing is that a Rock hat or is that a Rutgers hat or what have we got here? I don't know.
Rock hat.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, you're a sports guy too. I don't know if you're like a Rutgers fan that I was not aware of for some reason. Isn't that their logo? A bullhorn, bullhead, bullshit?
I don't know. Mike, do you also have this shirt?
No, I got a different one from them.
I think Mike has Mario Kart, or do you have the Mario Kart one too, Dom?
I might also have the Mario Kart one.
Oh, do you have the NES one? I wore that last week.
This one last week, so I was hoping that Mike could wear it next week.
So I already did my laundry too, and I almost put that fucking shirt on tonight. Because I don't know if you noticed it earlier that like when we started the call, I was still in a tank top, and I was like, oh, I had to like put on a regular shirt because I'm way too sunburned to be in a tank top right now. Anyways, do you just have the NES one, Mike?
Oh, no, I have the NES one.
I have the NES one too. If we all have one, we should probably like.
I just have one that says Super Soul Bros, and it's like a guy with glasses. It's not a character.
Oh, okay.
It's like an
a
afro
guy
hat.
with. You have like the old. I think it's Mario with an afro and glasses.
Oh, maybe it is. I guess I never looked at it that hard.
Or at least his features are like sort of Mario-esque. That's how I always interpreted it. I don't know if that's actually what they're going for.
He has the Italian stereotype nose,
Yes.
Mamma mia.
which is just a oval.
It's just a shape.
Anyways, I like we should we should make references to our shirts in future episodes, but not call them out like this, and just see if the eagle-eyed viewers can spot it and call it out. Maybe we'll send them a prize. Mike will handwrite you a note if you're the first one to reach, I don't know, a point system that we'll discuss off the air.
We'll,
and then
we'll
never
send you the
reveal.
shirts off our back.
Yeah,
It
if you
is
can
20.
go. What did you say?
No,
Mike?
no, I
Our
was saying
dirty shirts.
it's 2021. I have not written a full sentence with a paper and pen in the last 20 years.
That's not true. You definitely did
That's not
it
true.
in at least 13 years ago. You definitely wrote at least a sentence.
13 years ago, but you know,
Who knew
I was-
Mike was such a living in a digital age that he doesn't even communicate, with the analog world.
He is living in a digital world, and he is a digital girl.
girl, and I just
I
it was a
love
better
that.
way for us to do it.
I love that Daft Punk song. Anyways, a couple of housekeeping things before we roll into tonight's fucking shit show. Apparently, I'm not lost in the sauce, but I'm having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Mike knows what I'm saying. Mike definitely knows what I'm fucking saying.
No, that's the sauce talk.
This guy knows what I'm talking about. This guy, definitely knows what I'm
talking about. Wait, what is your shirt, Mike? Now I need to know.
Oh, I think this one might be World of Warcraft.
Oh, that loot box exclusive?
Mike's a big
That
WoW
loot-
guy.
That loot crate, boy. I'm not
Mike's
wasting
a big
my
WoW guy.
shirts just to sit here in front of the camera.
Mike, what do you got? What do you got for hours played in World of Warcraft?
Hours played. Let's see. So in the most recent expansion, I don't know, like 15, 16 hours. I'm barely into it, but if I knew the name of other expansions, best believe I would have made up different hours for those.
Or the most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent one. I think I could get by just saying the most recent one, and people would be like, oh yeah, I get that.
Mike, you could literally say anything because Dom and I wouldn't fucking know.
No, I would know. He has 0 hours played. He might have minutes played. I feel like he might have gotten a game for free on some Steam thing.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I feel like I do have a WoW disc somewhere.
Okay.
I think I do have one. I forget where I got it. It must have been something that they had for free at like a GameStop.
Yeah, I just assumed that Steam had it up for free at some point, and you would have downloaded it and turned it on for 5 minutes and then gave up. That was my guess.
Let me just open up all my launchers and see where I can get it.
No. I mean, it's a fucking Blizzard game, so it's on Activision Blizzard. Also, fuck
Alright.
Activision Blizzard. Anyways, so yeah, Mike, if you're gonna get into an MMO, honestly, at this point, Final Fantasy 13 or whichever the number is, people are fucking loving that game. People are loving it.
love that
I
game.
downloaded it. I think you can get like a free 2 weeks, maybe.
You can, however, I already did that, and then I didn't play it, and then because I didn't play it, those 2 weeks are just gone. So
I
now
mean, you could
would
just
have
buy
to-
it too, because Mike, people are fucking loving it. You can make the cat, girl, or boy of your dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I can do that without having to play a game.
Ooh. Anyways, couple of I don't know, housekeeping things. Where are we at here? What are we even doing at this point? I don't even fucking know. This episode of the Pass Control Podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. They just dropped off a delicious hot fucking batch of cookies in my driveway, and they're sitting in my kitchen waiting for me to eat. Gobble them up after this. If you're like me and you want delicious treats delivered to your door every week, or you want to, if you're not like me and you want to walk down over to, the local Goodnight Fatty Emporium at 1 Washington Square and get yourself some hot, delicious treats on a weekly rotating basis, you can do that on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday evening. And if you're like me, you want something a little hot, a little something tasty, a little something fresh in the morning on a Sunday, you want to kick off the end of your weekend the right way, head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a chubby. And if you don't know what a fatty is or a chubby is, check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and at Good Morning Chubby. and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. And if you do head down, let them know Pass the Controller sent you. And see what happens. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Anyways, cookies were... The orange creamsicle, I took a bite. Was not bad. I was a fan. I would eat that cookie.
Okay.
The middle one, the one that actually had Oreos in it, also delicious. Was a fan. Couldn't tell you what the cookie is, because apparently I'm lost in the sauce, but I was a fan. Anyways, a couple other housekeeping things. I streamed for, I don't know, almost 18 hours last week to raise money for myasthenia gravis, and I'm very happy to say that we crossed 2,000, which is bonkers to me that we did that. So thanks to all of you listening that tune into that type of stuff and donate and share and help get us to that goal. It's pretty remarkable. That puts our entire team over 10,000, which is fucking wild. So hats off to all of you. Thank you so much. You made me play Balan Wonderworld to completion and broke my fucking brain, and then also made me play Resident Evil 3 Remake, which, oddly enough, I really fucking enjoyed, and I might buy Resident Evil 2 Remake. So maybe I like horror now. I don't, it wasn't like super scary. It got me with jump scares often though. At one point, I was so tense playing the game. I don't know if you were there yet or not, Mike, when I got a follow notification and I literally fucking jumped because that noise scared me.
I think I missed that, but
Which
that sounds great.
The follow notification for our channel is not a scary thing. It's Pikachu and Eevee waving and like high-fiving, and it's just Pikachu saying Pika. So like that scared the shit out of me because that's how tense I was. So I kind of want to get Resident Evil 2 Remake, but I also kind of want to like maybe save that for another future stream. Or if I really want to go down the route of scaring the shit out of myself, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 are actually supposed to be much scarier games. So what am I doing to myself?
Yeah. Go for it.
Maybe, or maybe not. Who's to say? But that kind of brings us into, I think that's the end of housekeeping. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Probably not. And if there is, I'm sorry. This week's episode is the end of the month. So that means it is the PTC Movie Club episode. And not only that, it's a double feature. We got a little bonus movie talk for you this week as we talk about Mike's pick, which is I was going to say the wrong movie, Black Dynamite. And afterwards, we will talk about friend of the show, Cameron Hawkins' pick, which is The Wind Rises. But let's kick it off with Mike's pick, Black Dynamite. And I'm going to try something a little different this time. I'm gonna hit us with some stats, hit us with some plot, overall summation, and then we'll get into it. And we'll have a good time. So, Black Dynamite. Did either of you look up the budget and or box office for this? Because I have it up. I have these notes taken. I don't know if either of you were curious and looked at that.
I can tell you that they are both probably very small numbers.
I
I would also think that. What do you think the budget is? Let's just take a guess. What do we think the budget's at?
The budget should be super low. I would say nothing north of 20 mil.
Yeah, I was thinking, for some reason, 17 million is in my head.
Okay. 2.9 million.
Yeah, very low. I was gonna say 1 million, but I'm like, that might be really lowballing it for a movie.
There was like I feel like there was like explosions and stuff too. That's why I was going to where I was at.
I don't think we'll get into it because I think we'll end up talking about other things. But I did do like some deeper digging on the movie itself and kind of just on blaxploitation in general, because I don't think I've ever actually watched a blaxploitation film. I've probably seen bits and pieces.
Probably watched Blackula.
I definitely never watched that. I definitely have seen bits and pieces of Shaft, which is that considered blaxploitation?
Yeah.
One of the other more quote unquote modern takes was Undercover Brother, which I feel like I probably did watch that movie.
I know I watched that movie. I used to love that movie.
So I guess, if that's considered blaxploitation, then I did watch that at some point when I was younger. And they also said that Austin Powers kind of riffs on some of that, and then they also have characters like Beyonce Knowles' character in, I think it's Goldmember, that is a more take on a blaxploitation character.
Yep.
But I went on a much deeper dive than I expected to on just blaxploitation in general. But so we got the budget, which was 2.9 million, and then box office. These numbers are coming from Box Office Mojo. Box office just below 300,000, hitting a cool 296. Yeah, I feel like that is not great.
Like even, well, actually, I knew it was gonna be super low. That much I know. In my mind, I'm trying to remember when that movie came out. I don't remember the marketing for it. Well, it's tough for me to say. I feel like it's a movie that I wanted to see in theaters, but ultimately didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it came out on DVD was when I was like, okay, I need to go watch this now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
but yeah,
it's I'm not surprised that it performed low, but I feel like that's super low. So the plot, and this I'll be reading off of Wikipedia, a couple paragraphs here. In the early 1970s, Black Dynamite, a Vietnam War veteran, which when that part gets revealed is a fucking bonkers scene. Like, I'm sorry, but what? And former CIA officer vows to clean up the streets of drug dealers and gangsters after his younger brother Jimmy is killed by a shady organization. O'Leary, Black Dynamite's former Army and CIA partner, reinstates him into the agency because they do not want him seeking revenge by himself. While trying to get to the bottom of Jimmy's murder, he finds out that his brother was actually working undercover for the CIA. Black Dynamite also discovers the shady organization is filling the black orphanages, not the orphanages, with heroin. He declares war on local drug dealers and successfully cleans up the streets, earning him the affection of Gloria, a black power activist who works at the local orphanage. After discovering the government involvement in the drug ring, Black Dynamite, this movie is ridiculous. Black Dynamite steals the ledger belonging to corrupt Congressman James, which detail, I didn't realize he didn't have a last name, or unless James is his last name.
Black Dynamite is the name of the character. He doesn't have a name.
No,
his name is Black
I'm
Dynamite.
talking about Congressman James. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Details illegal
Names don't
shipments to a warehouse. Black
the
Dynamite.
character named Chafagaya.
There's a lot of questionable named characters in here. Black Dynamite and his team, consisting of close friend Bullhorn, street hustler Cream Corn, and militant leader Saeed, and 3 militants, storm the warehouse to capture a big shipment. They learn of a top secret operation called Code Kansas, but there are no drugs in the warehouse. They only find Anaconda brand malt liquor. A government-produced brand that, according to the advertising slogan, gives you ooh in a diner. They decipher the slogan, which, again, ridiculous scene. Code Kansas as a plan to literally emasculate African-American men through Anaconda malt liquor, which is formulated to give you a little tick. The militant Gunsmoke, who has fallen victim to the liquor's effect, is killed to put him out of his misery. Returning to the warehouse, Black Dynamite finds O'Leary is part of the evil plan, but is just following orders. He kills O'Leary before acquiring his next lead to find the source of Code Kansas' plan. Black Dynamite heads to Kung Fu Island, where he discovers that his old nemesis, Fiendish Dr. Wu, is responsible for creating the secret
Kung Fu treachery.
Who is responsible for creating the secret formula found in Anaconda malt liquor. In a protracted battle which kills Saeed, the 3 militants, and Bullhorn, Black Dynamite discovers the true identity of the mastermind of the entire operation, the White House, which I was also sort of confused because I thought Cream Corn also died, and then he was on the helicopter. I was like, what is happening?
No,
he did injured.
He died afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
He got injured, like he got hit with ninja
The
star
Ninja
or whatever,
Stars,
but
yeah.
he gets out.
Black Dynamite then travels to the White House. In the process, Cream Corn is killed by the Secret Service and confronts President Richard Nixon, who has been given the orders from the beginning. Black Dynamite engages Nixon in a kung fu battle. Nixon gets the upper hand when he dishonestly pulls John Wilkes Booth's gun, but the ghost of Abraham Lincoln appears from a painting and attacks Nixon, which causes him to drop the gun. After defeating Nixon in a fair fight, Black Dynamite threatens to expose Nixon as the subject of a series of bondage and cross-dressing photographs. The president begs to be killed, but Black Dynamite refuses to give him the easy way out and has Nixon watch out for his people. The film concludes with the monologue from Black Dynamite on his quest for justice as Gloria and Pat Nixon watch on rapturously. Okay.
Yeah, it really wraps it up.
Kayla in the chat said I threw that shit from the other from the other room. That is such a
I
good.
threw that shit before I walked in.
It's so good, so good. So I think one of the things that
Also, when the first guy dies on Kung Fu Island, I can't remember what his name is. He
The
like
one that's like
is
talking about he's like go to his family or whatever.
yeah. And then Black Dynamite goes, "Did anybody see that coming? I mean, did anybody see where that came from?"
yes, that was so good. Uh, so I guess we can get into whatever. We can get into why Mike picked this movie, how we felt of the movie, things we liked, didn't like, whatever, whichever path we want to walk down.
I would like to state that very early on in the movie, I decided this is like an hour's worth of a Mad TV sketch,
And then the girl from Map TV was in it.
yeah, and like
I forget
Cedric
her name.
Yarborough. I mean, he's not on Mad TV, but he showed up, and yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's Nicole
Sullivan. There it is. Nicole
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Yeah.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, I mainly picked the movie just because I felt like rewatching it.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate the
Just
reasoning. I never watched it, so I'm happy to watch it.
I like because I've been watching. They made Adult Swim has an animated series for Black Dynamite,
Which
It's
is
been on,
also
I'm like,
it's also on HBO Max because I almost
Max.
clicked on that first. I was like, wait, this is animated? I didn't think it was animated.
Is it
Yeah,
also voiced by Michael Jai White?
I believe so. They might have gotten him back, and Bullhorn's in it too, and I think Creamcorn's in it, and I forget what the character's name was. The one that has the where all the ladies are trained in kung fu. She works at the strip club, I think, right?
The one that's not
The one
the
that's
one
not Gloria.
yeah, the one that's not Jack Hay.
Yes, the one that's not the
I
mom
kept looking
from
at
not
the
the mom
actress
from
and being like,
Kung
"Oh, it's Jack Hay." And I'm like, "No, it's still not Jack Hay."
Fu. What was I saying just now? Do. Oh yeah, her character is in the show too. That's all I was getting at.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I knew that movie. Like I used to just love quotes from that movie. I love that part where they're fighting. Bullhorn steps in for Black Dynamite to do some fighting for him because he has to run off and chase Chicago win.
In the pool
He
hall.
accidentally hits the guy. Yeah, he accidentally hits the guy.
The guy gets pissed, so they switch actors.
Yes, everything about that was perfect. The guy gets pissed and fucking breaks the scene, and then they switch actors. I lost it.
And the one militant guy that kept reading this like the
Stage
directions,
directions,
the line
yeah.
yeah.
It was pretty great. There was a lot
There
of
was there was also one point where Black Dynamite's talking, and you can see the boom like drop in, and he
yes.
looks up at it.
Yes, it's so good. He looks at it more than once, and like obviously, I feel like all this stuff is on purpose. Like like it's
Obviously it's on purpose.
part of the
Yeah.
part of the thing. The scene, I think probably the one scene that got me to fucking lose it the most is probably not even that funny. But I fucking lost it. It's when it's early in the movie. It's probably like the first maybe half hour, 45 minutes. He's training. I don't know. He's spying in his house with just like I don't know.
Who's interrupting my kung fu?
Yeah, who's interrupting my kung fu, but not that part. When Aunt Betty or Aunt Billy, I don't know. When his aunt calls and she's telling him that his brother's dead. As she's still talking to him, he just fucking hangs up the phone. But he hangs it up and can't find it, so he's just slamming the phone around. I fucking lost it. I was like, I'm pretty sure that is when I texted the group and I said this movie is fucking ridiculous because I fucking lost it at that point. It was so good.
I don't know. My favorite part about the phone call is she's like explaining that his brother's dead, and he hangs the phone up, and then he's just like staring off into space, and then the guys leave, and he's like, "All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow."
I'll see you next week. Or whatever. No, he tells him that he's like, get the fuck out, and then he's like, oh, I'll see you next week. And then when they do a flashback to him and his brother, I love that.
I'm 16-year-old Black Dynamite.
It's so fucking good. It's so stupid, but it's so good. Oh,
Yeah, great fucking scenes.
when he when he's describing when he meets O'Leary and he's describing like his time in Vietnam.
Chinese, I don't.
I was just like so confused. I was like, this is a lot to take in right now.
Said something to me in Chinese. I didn't know what he was saying, but I could see in his eyes. He's like, "Why'd you kill me, Black Dynamite?"
It's good. The actor that played Black Dynamite also wrote it, correct? Michael J.
believe so,
White.
yeah.
It was a screenplay by him. Okay, I don't know if he's in other things, but
He's Spawn.
in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
In the original movie, not in the new movie.
I don't know what else I would know him from. I pulled up his IMDb real quick. He's in The Dark Knight. I don't know who Gamble is, but
He's Gamble.
The guy that gets. I think
Do
he's
you
the
wanna-
one that.
do you want to know how I got these scars
oh, he's like
Is
in
he the one
that
that
scene.
puts the bounty
in the pool
on-
hall?
He's the one that puts the bounty out on the Joker, and then the Joker shows up, and
Yep. In the pool
he's
hall.
actually-
They drag the trash bag in with him in it.
Obviously the fight scenes and the action scenes in this movie, they are what they are on purpose. But like, and I meant to look this up. I feel like Michael must have been like, it was always him in the
he's a trained
scenes.
martial. He's a trained. I think he's trained in martial.
Okay, because like some of the stuff was goofy on purpose, but like when he's like using the nunchucks, I'm like, no, he knows how to use nunchucks, and like,
Yeah, he was doing some real
Yeah.
some real like spinning air kicks and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like it was actually like kind of fucking cool, and like the fight with fucking Nixon at the end when Nixon pulls out the nunchucks, I'm like, this guy also fucking is a nunchuck master. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, you
It's
don't
great.
get to the rank of president without being trained in some form of martial
Apparently.
arts and some kind of weapon,
I
like a Ninja Turtle weapon.
I did kind of enjoy after he defeats Nixon and he like goes to apologize.
It's like, I think I was at my bounds. You didn't shoot me. You shot the plate. If you shot me, then the response would have been justified.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. The one thing I didn't need to zoom in on the dick like 17 times. like the joke was funny after like the first couple, and then when it just kept doing it, I'm like, this joke's going on too long.
And who? And what was it? Mars. The Greek god of war. Now, what is his Roman counterpart? Ares. You dig?
I thought the lady when she like had some of the answers, he like looked over and pointed at her at one point, but he was like aggravated that she had answered.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're right, old lady. That part where Black Dynamite's like talking to Gloria and is like, he said, I don't know, he was basically rhyming, and that other woman comes in defends the rhyme. He's like, Gloria, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I know it's you. I don't even have to look at you. Yeah.
That was a really good fucking scene. And then immediately fucking Gloria is like I'm assuming part of the point of that scene was like that this is a girl that like knows Black Dynamite's pickup lines. Like knows,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It's like they've clearly have at least been together in some way, or he's used pickup lines on her. And immediately after, he's like, "Shut the fuck up! I don't have to fucking look to fucking know it's you." Gloria looks at him and goes, "For some reason, I feel like I can just trust you." And I'm just like, it's so good. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mike! I just saw you write that in the chat. Donuts don't wear alligator shoes. That seems pretty
That
good.
was a great line.
That's pretty good.
It's a
Pretty good.
great line.
There are a lot of really good lines in this movie. I will say there are like a lot of really good lines.
And a lot of like peripheral actors.
Yeah.
Mm.
Brian McKnight was one of those pimps.
He was sweet meat.
Yep, Brian McKnight was there. Yep.
Uh,
Cedric Yarborough was one.
So,
Arsenio Hall was there.
Yep.
Bubba Gump was the guy in the pool hall.
Captain Kangaroo pimp.
Yeah. I forgot to look that up to see if it was actually Captain Kangaroo.
Wasn't he dead by that point?
I don't remember when he
Oh.
died.
Kale in chat mentioned that part. That was really funny too. Right before, actually, it was right after Black Dynamite shot the donut, and the car's trying to stop, but the guy who's driving the car didn't brake. It's like, oh shit!
You think that was planned?
That one looked like it might not have been, but they just left it in because it was perfect. Like
Yeah,
it
of
fits
course.
so well.
Yeah. Well, when I was like reading more about blaxploitation films, it seemed like, according to what I was reading at least, off of Wikipedia, so take that for what you will, that blaxploitation films were often shot in one takes. Like a lot of stuff was like just one takes, and it's like that's
Yeah,
it
it's
is
the
what it
best way to
is.
save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's why, like, you know the genre is known for like some of that those types of elements of like
Yeah.
a boom mic coming
Flat
in or someone
quality.
fucking up a line or whatever, and it just
Yeah.
stays. So I feel like, as someone who's not a big film buff, clearly, and is very green on the idea of, or I guess on the knowledge of blaxploitation films, it seems like this movie does a really good job of like paying homage to that genre in like the right ways, or in a
I
lot of the
don't
right
know if
ways.
I don't know if homage is the right word. It is like spoofing the
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah,
It's like taking what would happen on screen in those movies and being like, yeah, look how ridiculous this shit is when you do it on purpose.
yeah, fucking good
I
though.
mean, it was a great movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. There were a couple parts that were like kind of whatever, and like I can move on. Maybe the movie could have been a little bit shorter, but I
It was like an hour and 6 minutes.
no, wasn't it an hour and a half?
I could not tell you.
I don't know, but I do you really want a movie to be shorter than an hour and a half even?
I guess not. I don't know. Who's to
Hour and a
say?
half is
Hour and a half's
pretty.
fine. There were just maybe a couple of points where I was like, "All right, we can like, I don't know, like."
Yeah.
Unless I missed a joke during like Black Dynamite and Gloria's like sex scene, I didn't necessarily need that like Zodiac thing.
Yeah.
Unless that
I
was
mean, see,
this, unless
Christian
that was
Bale-
this, unless that was the setup to them figuring out the fucking riddle for Anaconda.
Oh wow, 84 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, an hour and 24.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's to say? But yeah, I think overall I like the film. It was good. I feel like there are definitely some parts in it where I don't know. Like, this movie came out when 2009. I understand it's like it's a parody, but I like, would you think we would ever see a movie like this again? I feel like it would not be received well for a lot of reasons if someone did something like this.
Mm, I don't know. I think. I think it'd be harder to thread that needle, maybe,
Yeah,
but I think it could be done.
because again, is coming from Wikipedia when I was reading about stuff, but it seemed like there's a lot of discourse out there, at least in the past, about blaxploitation films just like feeding bad stereotypes that are perpetuated by white people about
Mm.
whoever's being shown in the films. So I don't know. I mean, like, if this movie was not written by a black guy, and is the director also Scott Sanders, is also African American. So like, if it was like a white guy doing it, then yeah, there's probably like a lot more problematic things at hand here.
Yeah.
Like, who was like, again, because I don't really know much about blaxploitation in the past. Like, were these movies being like made by black creators, or were they being like made by white people in
Does does Pootie Tang count as a blaxploitation movie? Because that was made by Louis C.K., wasn't it?
He was definitely involved in it. I don't remember if he was probably the director on that, actually.
Pootie Tang, written and directed by Louis C.K.
Okay. To answer, not to answer Brendan's question, I don't have an answer to Brendan's question. My assumption is that I don't think white people were necessarily involved in those films, but I think because of that, because like, the black community were trying to make the movies themselves, so to speak, they probably just didn't have the finances to make, to do several takes for a shot or whatever. But that's just what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Someone can fact check that.
I mean, again, I
That's
don't
gonna be
know.
me. I
I'm
check.
I'm not a cinephile, and I'm also not very versed on blaxploitation as a sector of the film world. But I did like this movie. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I got some good laughs, some good laughs. There were some good moments, some good quotes.
Make Jen watch it.
Uh, so I had revealed to Jen what both of these movies were, and I was like, "Let me know if you have any interest in watching either of them, because if not, I'm gonna like probably just go in the office and like throw headphones on and like bang these out." She's like, "No, you can put it on out here." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna watch Black Dynamite first, so like I'm gonna start this." And like,
And it starts with that sex scene, and then she's like, "I'm
yeah,
out."
she looked up at the TV and was like, "What the fuck are you watching? Why did Mike pick this?" And I'm just like, I'm just gonna fucking go in the other room. Like, I didn't. She went in the other room, and I just laid on the couch and watched it. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think she would have enjoyed it if she sat down and watched it. Um, but it was good. The Orphanage.
I'll shake the shit out of you myself. No, stop that, Black Dynamite. We already tried that.
Yeah, that was again good line. Like we tried that, nothing works. Oh, so great, so fantastic. But anyways, any other final comments on Black Diamond before we move on to The Wind Rises?
No.
I don't know. It's worth a watch.
I think so. If if you're interested in that type of thing, I think you would enjoy it. I think it has value. I think it is good. It's definitely in the top half of the movies we have watched for the PTC Movie Club so far, in my opinion.
Right up there with Hereditary and Haunted Mansion.
I
Do you
mean,
see that they're going to try and remake the Haunted Mansion? Did I send you that link?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sent it. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the podcast at some point. But I also know
I
that
think you
you
did,
zone
yeah.
out, so it's not important.
I think you did mention that I thought they were redoing the Haunted Mansion.
They are
They
remaking
are.
Haunted Mansion. We have more details now, so the thing that you
Oh,
sent out has had more than we knew a couple months ago when I first mentioned it. So Tiffany Haddish and what's the dude from Get Out's name?
Oh, Lakeith.
Lakeith Stanfield.
oh, he's great. He was the lead in. Was he the lead in
He was a co-star in the Adam Sandler movie.
In the Adam Sandler.
Wait,
Oh
yeah.
Uncut
yes,
Gems.
that is him. Yeah, but he's the lead in Black Klansman,
Sorry,
right?
really? Oh no, that's
Is that
Denzel
Denzel's
Washington's
son?
kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yes, I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of what you just said. Don't sorry to bother you.
Sorry about that.
He's great. He's I think he's a great actor.
Yes.
I also think Denzel's son is
I
also a
don't.
great actor because
I mean, I don't
I
know.
thought Black Klansman was also a very good movie.
I don't know how he's gonna be in the Haunted Mansion, but we'll see.
Take that Disney paycheck, baby, and then sue Disney
It's
right after.
the story is a little bit different. It sounds. I mean, it's not like not that the first movie had anything to do with the ride, but the movies are not connected at all. So
Wait,
I was hoping to see more of Evers. I forget what their family's name was.
Evers and Evers,
Stan,
Forevers and Evers,
Stanfield is the last name. Lakeith Stanfield.
Stanfield. Yeah.
His role in Get Out, he's not. He's just he's like one of the people
he's
that
the guy
like
that
is
He
fucked
was the
up by them,
first.
right?
He's the first character you see.
He's the first guy that gets kidnapped at the very beginning of the movie, and then
Yeah.
he bumps into the main character in the middle.
Oh,
She's the one that like yells at him to get out.
He
Yeah,
tries to
I'm-
warn.
I'm
he tries to
picturing-
warn him in the middle, and then he starts to have the
yeah,
bloody nose.
that's where the scene I'm picturing him from. I don't remember him at the beginning of the movie.
It's him getting kidnapped is the first scene of the movie.
I fucking hated that movie. Like it was a good movie. Like it wasn't like bad. That movie
Oh,
fucking
on
made me
on
feel
that note.
horribly uncomfortable.
On that note, Jordan Peele's third movie is coming out too.
Nope.
Uh,
That's the name of the movie, right?
huh? Oh
That's
yeah,
the-
Is it also?
I was
a
like,
horror,
wait.
Is it also a horror?
It
movie?
is Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is Peele. It's called Nope.
It's a horror movie too.
I imagine his first two
Yeah,
were.
I'm all set. I can't do it.
Did you
Uh,
watch Us?
No, I definitely can't watch that shit. I mean, I watched Get Out, and that was like, Get Out's like one of those things. It's like, it's it makes me feel, actually made me feel worse than Hereditary did. Yeah, probably. Like, but is that just that level of uncomfortability that I don't want to be dealing with, like, at all.
I don't know if Us has as much uncomfortability. I feel like Us is
I mean,
more.
I also hate straight horror. Like, I don't like horror at all.
I don't know. Would you call Us horror, Mike, or would you call it like thriller?
It might have been more thriller. I'm trying to think because
I mean, I listen. I just don't like to be thrilled. I don't
I'm
want to
not.
be thrilled.
I'm not trying to. I wouldn't bother trying to sell Us to Brenden. Like I tried for a while to get him to watch Get Out, and then it
Yeah.
was like not worth the effort. And I was like, whatever.
But I did watch
Um,
it eventually.
you did watch it. It wasn't because of me. I think you somehow got roped in by Jen somehow.
Jen had watched it, and then she's like, "You should really watch this movie. It's really good." And I'm like, "I don't know. If I can watch this movie," and I did.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, but Us is like very different.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Sapphire Jade in the chat said, "Lakeith Stanfield is one of the best parts of Atlanta." I still need to watch that show. I really
yeah, I
want to
still
watch
gotta
that
watch
fucking
Atlanta,
show.
too.
I need to watch the second season. He's also the voice of, I forget the anime that's on Netflix about the Black Samurai. That's all I got.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
I'll send a link later, but
Is it Black Dynamite?
it is not Black Dynamite. Black
Kale
Dynamite
said
is not-
Yasuke.
Yasuke. Yeah.
All right. Well, if we're wrapping up with Black Dynamite, we can roll into our bonus pick for the month, which I don't know if this will be a thing going forward. We'll see, but we're kind of piloting this out here with a double feature for this month, which Cam brought to us. The Wind Rises. So we'll run through quickly the numbers here. With a budget, according to Box Office Mojo, a budget of. Well, does anyone care to make a guess about the budget, or do you want to read these numbers off?
Budgets work.
Yeah, neither do I.
30 mil. I mean, it's a Miyazaki film. It's Miyazaki's last film. It's also still being distributed by Disney at this point. Worldwide box office numbers, 136.5 mil.
And made some Boku bucks.
Which I'm assuming is good. Like I would imagine, going that much over the budget is a plus. I don't know what they expect the return on these types of movies. A Miyazaki film. I know it was.
You said that was a worldwide gross. You said
Yes.
130.
136.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can pull. I just closed that window. Let me see if I can pull this back up. I feel like anime films, even stuff like this, don't necessarily get wide box office releases, or at least not like extended stays. They're not there long.
That's probably true.
Let's see. I mean, Disney handled the distribution, so maybe a little bit different for a movie like this. Let's see. I don't know, 44 weeks. I don't know if that's normal or not. I mean, here it is. The split on domestic versus international, 5 mil domestic and the rest is international. I mean, that's 96% international. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't expect it to like have big numbers here in the U.S.
But,
I think when I had quickly looked at the Wikipedia page because I just wanted to like summarize the plot for myself after watching it, and I know that it had mentioned it being like the biggest movie in Japan for something. I think.
I mean, it's not surprising because I believe part of the marketing leading up to this movie coming out was that this is Miyazaki's last film.
Until it wasn't, but yes,
That's true. But he hasn't come out with a new film since then, but he is working on a new film.
working on one.
Yeah. But he was retired for a period of time.
Yeah.
He's pulling a
But
Jay-Z.
it
I
was
mean,
like-
I'll
yeah,
give it to him. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
That's exactly that. I'm like, yeah, he's pulling a Jay-Z. Like, I'm out of the game. Not really.
Psych. So we'll run through the plot real quick to kind of refresh everybody on the film. So, because I also, after I watched the movie, I'm like, all right, there's a lot to unpack here. And then I did some reading and some digging afterwards because I also did not pick up on some of the things that were actually happening in the movie. I don't know if anyone else went that far or picked it up organically. I also didn't know this was a fucking biopic. So,
Yeah.
in 1918, a young Jiro, is it Jiro or Euro? Is it
And I mean, they said in the movie Jiro.
Jiro?
So,
Okay. A young Jiro Horikoshi longs to become a pilot, but his nearsightedness prevents it. He reads about the famous Italian aircraft designer Giovanni Battista Caprioni and dreams about him that night. In the dream, Caproni tells him that he has never flown a plane in his life and that building planes is better than flying them. 5 years later, Jiro is traveling by train to study aeronautical engineering at Tokyo Imperial University and meets a young girl, Naoko Satomi. Traveling with her maid, when the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 hits, Noako's maid, his leg is broken, and Jiro carries her to Noako's family, leaving without giving his name. In 1927, Jiro graduates with his friend Kiro Honjo. Both are employed at the aircraft manufacturer Mitsubishi and are assigned to design a fighter plane, the Falcon, to the Imperial Army. During tests, the Falcon breaks apart in midair and the Army rejects it. Dispirited about the seeming backwardness of Japanese technology, Jiro and Honjo are sent to Germany in 1929 to carry out technical research and obtain a production license for a Junkers G-38 aircraft. Jiro sees Hugo Junkers, argues with German guards, and witnesses anti-Japanese sentiment. He dreams again of Caproni, who tells him that the world is better for the beauty of planes, even if humankind might put them into terrible purposes. In the spring of 1932, Jiro is promoted to chief designer for a fighter plane competition sponsored by the Imperial Navy, but his designs, the Mitsubishi 1 MF-10, fails testing in 1933 and is rejected. Disappointed, Jiro goes to a summer resort in, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Kurosawa, to rest, where he meets Naoko again. Castorp, a German, I believe Dom hates Castorp and hates Honjo, but we'll get to that. A German visitor, privately critical of the Nazi regime, thinks the summer resort is a good place to forget bad things, referencing The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, both in his name and his thought. He tells Jiro, who intends to visit Dessau, that Dr. Junkers is in trouble for fighting Hitler's government and calls Nazis a gang of hoodlums. Castorp further tells Jiro that Germany will go to war again and they must be stopped. Later, Jiro asks Naoko's father for his blessing to marry her, and the two are engaged. However, Naoko has tuberculosis and wants to wait until she recovers to marry. Castorp persists in the romance before fleeing arrests by the Japanese secret police. Wanted in connection with Castorp, Jiro hides at his supervisor's home while he works on a new Navy project. Following a lung hemorrhage, Naoko recuperates in a mountain sanatorium, but cannot bear being apart from Jiro and returns to marry him. Jiro's sister Kayo, now a doctor, warns Jiro that his marriage to Naoko will end tragically as tuberculosis is incurable. Though Naoko's health deteriorates, she and Jiro enjoy their time together. Jiro leaves for the test flight for this new prototype aircraft, the Mitsubishi A5M. Knowing that she will die soon, Naoko returns to the sanatorium, leaves letters for Jiro, her family, and friends. At the test site, Jiro is distracted from his success by a gust of wind suggesting Naoko's passing. In the summer of 1945, Japan has lost World War II and has been devastated by air raids. Jiro again dreams of meeting Caproni, telling him he regrets that his aircraft was used for war. A group of Zeros fly past, and their pilots salute Jiro. Caproni confronts him, saying that Jiro's dream of building beautiful aircrafts was nonetheless realized. Naoko appears, encouraging her husband to live his life to the fullest. Okay. So, how are we feeling about this film?
Very pretty animation.
I agree.
Fine story. I also not like. Was it just me, or were they just people doing sound effects?
All right, so I wanted to talk about this.
Yes, I think you're right.
So at least at the very beginning, the fucking plane noises were people just going. It was literally just.
But yes.
But I kind of loved it. I kind of liked it.
It was so distracting to me. I was like, that is literally just somebody making raspberries with their mouth. I don't know how, because by the end it was like engine noises, like it was like a lawnmower engine or something. But at the beginning it was definitely just people making raspberries with their mouth.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. And I
loved
didn't notice it at
I,
the end, so I feel like now that I like it more because it's kind of like a progression of him not being able to fucking do anything. He's like making planes in his imagination, so like that's just his brain going like, and like then he's actually making planes. So I kind of like that more now, actually. But you were gonna
I mean,
say,
maybe. And it may have only been in the dream sequences that like the sounds
oh,
were.
maybe, yeah.
Um,
I'd have to rewatch it. I'm definitely not going to, but I'd have to
I
rewatch
don't
it.
know if that's true because I think the earthquake that happens
Someone
was
just
also
someone
like you
just
could hear
farting in the microphone.
um,
someone going, boom, boom,
It's just Christopher Nolan going bomb.
um, I was gonna say the waltz that waltz that they played throughout, like the little theme.
yeah,
I really liked that too.
yeah. The theme was good.
All right,
My
so
big, yeah. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go no, go ahead.
I was gonna say my biggest takeaway from the movie was just like, yeah, there were some cool people that were that were working for the Axis powers. Like, yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, I at some point during the movie I was like, this is like a really weird movie to be watching as an American. Like, okay, so these are the guys that created the planes that bombed Pearl Harbor. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah,
just it was like a weird perspective, I guess.
yeah, and
I didn't dislike the perspective though, only because like it's very clear. And I think there are mentions of it. Like I think in some of his dialogue, he's like he doesn't want to
He didn't,
do
yeah.
that. He
No,
just wants to make
he just
planes.
wanted to make a pretty plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um.
Um, it was just I don't know. It was a weird perspective that I had at one point. I think it was during him talking to Werner Herzog.
yeah.
They were literally
Castorp.
just sitting at, huh?
Castorp, you fucking hate that guy.
It doesn't matter. It's not important. It was Werner Herzog. I can't get past the fact that it was Werner Herzog.
I like fucking was like, wait a minute, is that fucking Krasinski? And I had to quickly
Yes.
go look.
Okay.
Yes.
So I actually texted Brenden while I was watching.
Yes.
Literally throughout the movie, I was just absorbing all the like I was just watching, like listening, and then Krasinski started talking, and I was like, I am completely out of this movie. That's John Krasinski.
So
Like JGL, I just got like
I
I
didn't.
just brushed past it, and then like Emily Blunt, I was like, whatever, that's fine. Like I just accepted them as voice actors. But once John Krasinski started talking, I was like, I am out of this movie. That's John Krasinski talking.
he,
And then it was the same thing for Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened.
I think Werner was like the worst for me because it felt like it didn't fit with the other characters' dialogue. Like it just felt like he was way like louder and just more. I don't know. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was also like I feel like very monotone and very like sort of mumbly, not in like a incomprehensible way, but like just those two characters interacting. I'm like, I'm out of this right now.
I don't know the animation for I, was he German? He must have been German. I mean, Herzog is German, so I have to imagine
Yeah.
that they cast him as a German character. He looked weird. It looked like they were giving him some sort of stereotypical nose,
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
and I was like, I don't know. He didn't look particularly German. He like, I don't know. But the voice coming out of him was like blatantly German, and I was like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be taking from this character right now.
Yeah. So here's the thing where like I wasn't really sure. So I didn't realize that this movie was a mostly a biographical movie until after I watched the movie and when I was looking up more about the film. So that
Well, it's based on a book, right?
so here's the thing. It's based on a few things. So like Jiro is a real person who made those
Yes.
planes. Like that's a real
Correct.
thing. And like this movie is sort of lightly his story. The middle of the movie where they go to
Germany?
no, I think that does happen. But I'm not
Kurosawa.
sure. When they go to Kurosawa, that is not obviously real for a lot of reasons. But that is then taking from the magic. It's taking from three different things: the Magic Mountain, and then two other referential sort of. I think one of them is a French poem. The movie begins with a quote from a French author. It's that
Yep.
it's that poem, whatever that poem is called.
Yeah.
this scene, this part of the movie is also sort of kind of leaning on that. And there was, I think, one other thing that it was also kind of playing around with. So like if you know and are familiar with those things, I feel like this middle part of the movie might hit with you more. But I didn't know any of that, so I was also kind of like, I didn't hate it because I like romantic stories and I like those types of things, and I enjoyed kind of the story of Jiro and Naoko, who again also Naoko's not a real person, so or at least not a real person in Jiro's real story, from what I was reading. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that's what I understood from what I was reading about the film.
Imagine if she really existed and Brian's like just erasing her from history,
It
right?
just erased her from
Yeah, get the
history.
fuck out of here. So yeah, so I think
Was his sister real?
yeah, yes, so,
Her?
her. I think whether this is part of his story or it just might be part of what uh, Miyazaki was trying to tell in the story is that it seems like the middle part of the film was meant to sort of accentuate the other part of the film that is like the actual, quote unquote real aspect of it, the what's borrowed from real life, which is like you I don't know, someone else talk. I need to like gather my thoughts about this. Cuz the middle of the movie I enjoyed, but it was also like it's almost like you're watching two different movies at one point. And then they kind of mix them back together and then you kind of have to like separate what is going on.
Yeah.
You're talking about when they when they go to Germany and do the research, that like portion?
No, so when they go to
When he's staying at the hotel.
when they stay at the hotel, that's like where things start to borrow from these other
Oh, okay.
elements that like Jiro didn't go to this hotel. Jiro didn't meet, Werner Herzog's character. Like these things didn't happen. There wasn't a Naoko. Like all this stuff didn't happen. The earthquake was a real thing that happened. Did he carry some lady on his back? Maybe. I have no idea. But yeah.
That was like the
But
that
yeah.
was like the most devastating earthquake of all time too. I gotta read up on that earthquake and see if like
It's
the way the earthquake was animated, I was like, Jesus Christ.
so
Yeah, that was
the
wild.
I did look up the earthquake and read a little bit about it. It's a horrible. Where is? Can I pull this up quick? It's a horrible amount of things that like happened. It damage and deaths. I don't know. I want to say it destroyed like 100,000 homes. Like
Wow.
it like devastated that area. It was a very bad earthquake. Um,
Yeah,
And
that's
all right, and the other thing that I kept trying to decide was at the beginning he kept having those dreams of like it was like massive swarms of planes like dropping bombs. Was he dreaming of the Blitzkrieg?
hold on. What year did that happen? Because I had assumed it was like something he had seen before.
Yeah.
so that
Um,
earthquake that
1918.
that earthquake destroyed over 570,000 homes, leaving an estimated 1.9 million people homeless.
wow.
Fucking wild. Sorry, Mike, you were saying.
Uh, so the beginning of the film is in 1918. So was that World War One?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if he would have seen that.
Uh, was that the start of World War One?
I want to say yes. Boy, we are bad at
Oh yeah, no,
history.
I no idea. Sorry.
I can tell you Franz Ferdinand got assassinated, and that's what started it.
Wasn't didn't World War One start in 1912?
You're thinking about the War of 1912, of 1812.
There we go. Nailed it. Fucking
Um,
history buff over here.
yeah, I don't know. I know that World War II was happening during 1942.
I do know that.
Mhm.
Anyways,
I checked that.
I think in the dream. So I think a big part of his dreams with the Italian engineer were because that was some of the stuff that I did kind of enjoy and kind of in my brain was linking a lot to
Was the engineer, the Italian engineer, was that Stanley Tucci?
yes, I
I
believe
think
so.
so. Yes.
What was his name? Caprioni. Let me see. I have the
Yeah,
cast up
Caprio.
right here. Yes, that was Stanley Tucci. Uh, Elijah Wood's also apparently in this movie. No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
Knows. Um,
It was definitely a weird voice cast.
Martin
They
Short was
yeah,
the
Martin Short was
like the
there,
boss.
but it like you could pick up that it was Martin Short, but it didn't feel like out of
Yeah.
place. The English voice cast for a lot of these Ghibli movies, Dom, are actually like usually kind of stacked. Like they usually have like some at least a couple.
They
Like
get real actors, which is
yeah,
weird. Not weird only because like, there's plenty of very talented voice actors. Like this would be a great job for me, but they kind of need the name power of
I think it's a little bit of they
English
want the name power, but they also want like I'm sure like some of these actors and actresses probably looking at it like might be an easy way to get tied to a potential Oscar winner. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because especially a Miyazaki film, last Miyazaki film, it's not a terrible thing to throw your hat in the ring for. I do want to quickly. I pull up some notes on my phone. I forgot to mention this
Can
in
we,
the.
can we talk about John Krasinski and his voice acting for one more
Yeah,
for one
okay.
more
Yeah,
minute?
Yes.
let's go.
Is he like, does he do other stuff? Like, do we know him for voice acting and other stuff? Because like,
I don't personally.
I'm trying to think if there was another time where I heard the voice and I said, "That's John
He
Krasinski."
is Sir Lancelot in Shrek the Third.
okay,
He is Cuthbert in Monsters vs. Aliens. He is Hallam in The Prophet.
I don't know what
He
that
is
is.
Frightening Frank McKay in Monsters University.
Ooh,
He is the
I don't remember
narrator
which one
in
that is.
Born in China.
I don't know what that is.
Owen Huntington in Animal Crackers.
I don't know what that is.
He is 7723 in Next Gen. And he is apparently a voice in DC League of Super Pets, which is not out yet.
Yes, I knew that one, but that's gonna have a bunch of people in it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was just his voice was very distracting. Am I the only one that felt
No,
that way?
no, like it wasn't like too disorienting, but it did feel it was a lot. Like the thing is like he has such a distinct voice and it just sounds like him. Like it and not that that's a good or bad thing. It just maybe it would work in a different thing.
Him literally speaking that first line was what made me go, I need to look up the voice cast because that's definitely
I
John Krasinski. I don't know what's going on. I
I
don't know why he's
literally
here.
All right,
Jen was in the room
what
for
pulled you out of the movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
Jen was there watching this for a little bit of the movie, and she was there in the beginning. And when his character first shows up, I looked at Jen and I was like, "Is that John Krasinski? Can you look that up for me? Because like, I feel like it is." And yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because when Dom
What's
texted me
funny to
that, but go ahead.
No, you say your thing because my thing's stupid.
I was just gonna say when Dom had texted me like that he also felt that way about John Krasinski. It was like I was having the same feelings at the same time.
Yeah. The only thing I was gonna say was John Krasinski, very distinctive voice. However, I feel as though when I listened to him on Conan O'Brien's podcast, I'm like, your voice sounds different here. I don't know why.
He did well. I think it's just he sounded a little bit more laid back and not
Yeah, maybe
like
that's it.
performing. You know what I mean? Because I don't necessarily think he was bad. I just think it didn't.
No, he wasn't bad.
It
It's just,
didn't work
I
well
just
in
know his
the
voice.
movie. Yeah, and maybe just being super familiar with his voice doesn't help our cases.
Even for Werner Herzog, like even though I know his voice, it worked for that character because I understood him to be like a very German character who's
Mhm.
showing up and talking to Jiro at this
Yeah,
hotel.
I was gonna say that. Like, he's like, John Krasinski is definitely not Asian, and his voice is like
Oh, I mean, yeah, they
His
always.
voice is like categorically not Japanese. So
I mean, for all of these, for at least for the ones that I've watched, I mean, they're not getting. They're just getting, I think, names like.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like JGL's voice at least is like neutral. Like I don't feel like it has any sort of accent to it.
Yeah, no, I can get that. I get what you're saying. I get that. I also didn't necessarily love JGL's performance.
I thought he was fine. Like I
Yeah,
don't he never took me out of the movie.
That's true. I knew Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the movie, and I did not know that was him. Like for a bit, I was like, as the movie kept going on, I'm like, he must be the main character then, because like I don't know who the fuck else he would have been. But yeah, so quickly backtracking to Black Diamond for 1 second,
hmm
literally 1 second, and the opening scene when Jimmy the brother,
yeah.
when Jimmy dies, the guy that comes over to like check his pulse to see if he's dead, is that the guy that played Jaws in a James Bond movie? Or
So
Austin
so
Powers, maybe?
it's the guy from Happy Gilmore.
Yes, it's that guy. Okay, I don't know why Jaws is what I went to. I've never even seen those types of fucking
I
007
mean,
movies. But yes, it is that guy. It's the guy from
yeah,
fucking Happy
it's the guy
Gilmore.
from Happy Gilmore.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Okay, I was like, that guy looks fucking familiar. I don't know what his name is. I don't know how to look this up otherwise. I mean,
Oh,
I
that
probably
just
could have looked
reminded
it
me
up,
that
but
how that reminded me of how Jimmy had a British accent for some reason. Right before they killed him, he's like, "One of you guys is a snitch," and he's like, he started. I forget exactly what he said, but he said it with like a
Oh, it
very
is
clear.
Jaws.
oh, it is
Oh, there you
Jaws.
go.
Okay,
He's also Jaws. Yeah.
okay. I don't know why I know that, but sure.
Because you're our 007
I
buff.
am the 007 guy for trivia. I still haven't. I bought a bunch of those movies. I still haven't fucking watched them. Definitely not gonna pick one as my pick. Uh,
I believe that jacket is Mr. Gilmore's.
yes. Um. So I wrote this scattered brain thought down, and I'm just gonna read it instead of trying to formulate the brain thought in my brain again. Especially because we're kind of off the rails here. Um, what I liked about the movie in some ways was that I feel like the story, at least part of the story that's being told, is it's a story of a creator who just wants to make something, wants to make the thing that he loves, that he's passionate about, but doesn't have the means or ability to do that. So, in order to fulfill that passion, they kind of just have to do what's there, which kind of goes back to what Don was saying before, which was like, you know, different perspective. This guy, is just making planes that bombed Pearl Harbor, but also is like kind of anti-war and like makes a few comments in the movie. I'm trying to think. There's definitely, I don't know what sparks this in him, or if someone says something to him in the movie. Maybe it might have been the Warner character. Makes him at some point say multiple times to other people, including John Krasinski's character, something along the lines of like, Japan will burn, or like if we build these planes, like Japan will burn, or something
He
like
sees
that.
it. He sees it in his dream.
So yeah, so then fucking
It's Caprioni says something
Caprioni,
to him,
yeah,
but also part of his dream were the planes disintegrating and then the fire coming up.
yes. So like it's this whole weird tug of war of like, there's a thing you love and you want to do, and you're seemingly not a bad person, and you don't want to necessarily create these things for this reason. You just want to create these things because you think they're interesting and beautiful, and you have you have that creative ability inside you and knowledge to do this. But in doing that, this could be something that gets weaponized, which in his case it was, because he's literally creating fucking warplanes. And
Now we're all sons of bitches.
And Caproni's character in one of those visions poses the question to him, which I really enjoyed, which was, would you want to live in a world without pyramids? Which he doesn't explain, but what I took from that was like, would you want to live in a world without pyramids? because obviously pyramids were built with slave labor. This is what maybe I'm just off base with this, but he's saying like, I would want to live in a world where like this beautiful thing still exists, even knowing that like to get there potentially bad things had to have happened. So it's like he's posing the question, do you want to make these beautiful things that fly in the sky that are magnificent, that shouldn't exist, but we can create them, knowing that someone is going to weaponize this in a bad way and do bad things.
That's how I took it
Yeah.
to mean too.
So, and that's like a super complex thing, because like obviously, do you want like people to be slaves? And like obviously the answer is no, you don't want that. But like at the same time, the idea of something like this, I've never been to Egypt or the northern part of Africa, so I've never seen a pyramid in person, but I would imagine that they're incredible experience to go in or see a pyramid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a very it's just a complicated the story and the questions it poses at times are complicated, and I don't think there's a correct answer.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah, the moral of the story is we can't have nice things.
Sort of. I mean, I guess it's just also, I don't know. I feel like there are other things you can maybe glean from it in regards to like, there are things in this world that people make for good reasons or because it brings them joy or because whatever. The analogy of the pyramid makes things way more complicated in this conversation, simply because like Jiro is making something that like it could be used as a weapon to kill people, but pyramids, some beautiful architecture was like literally made by uncontrollable slave labor. So it's not like a 1-to-1 comparison. It's like it's not the best analogy to make, but I guess in 1940 maybe there isn't a other analogy to make.
He cut him some slack. He's a Italian dream man. Like
That's true. I will say again, Stanley Tucci's performance was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he called him Japanese boy, it was weird to hear it. It just didn't sit with me right. It was very bizarre.
It was weird.
Which I think maybe by design, like that's what it was meant to stoke that uncomfortability. Because this movie is. I can't see kids liking this movie in literally any way. Like I think you can make movies for kids or movies that are are animated that can speak to kids and also speak to adults. I think this movie was like made for adults. I don't think this movie was necessarily made for kids in any way.
Yeah, there were no animal characters.
That's true.
No, I thought I did see. I never actually watched Porco Rosco, so I can't speak to that entirely.
The character? Yeah, the Italian family looked like a different Miyazaki film.
Yeah.
Like when the second plane pulls up and
Yes.
he's like, "That's my family."
Yeah.
I was like, "Is that a family from another Miyazaki film?"
Yeah, I know that it did look a little differently animated for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was gorgeous. I enjoyed it. I don't know if this is a movie I'd put in like the upper echelon of Miyazaki films, of Studio Ghibli films. I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but
I would have to watch more of them and then like rewatch the ones I have seen to have them fresh in my head.
yeah.
I think this might be the first one that I've watched front to back. So.
All right, so Dom's list number 1.
Were you not in doing this when we did Grave of Fireflies?
No.
I don't know if that's a Miyazaki film, but it is technically a Ghibli film, I believe.
That movie also not really a kids movie, kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that movie was not. No, it was a sad movie. This movie made me emotional at points too. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. It was not what I was expecting it to be necessarily. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm I'm confused a little bit by. Again, I know it's not like really real, but I guess it's real in the movie. Jiro and Naoko's story, simply because it's just a little. I don't know. Jiro seems like a well-moraled person,
Mm-hmm.
but also seemingly sort of makes his wife leave a place that makes her more comfortable living with her terminal condition
I
to
don't
to
think
essentially just live in a room.
was that what happened. My understanding was that
She chose to
she
leave.
wanted she chose to leave to be with because like she knew how much that meant to him, and she didn't want. She knew that if he had to choose, he would choose her. So she just took that out of the equation by being with him, so he
Okay.
could focus on the same time.
All right. I don't know.
And
Yeah,
that's why when
and
he
then she says like you get your work, like you do so much better work when you're holding my hand. I think that was because like she's essentially saying like now that you don't have distractions, you're like
Teamwork.
like all your focus is on your work.
Hmm.
yeah, and then she dipped out at the end because she's like, "All right, I'm actually gonna die now, but you got your shit together, so it's cool."
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting film. I mean, it is anti-war. Miyazaki's a pacifist. He's anti-war, which I didn't know that. Like for a period of time, there were like I guess more conservative or whatever that type of political affiliation would be in Japan, were like publicly like trying to villainize Miyazaki for being like anti-army and stuff like that. Does Japan not have an army anymore? Like, is that just as a country they
I
just don't fucking have an army?
I think after World War II, we kind of forced them to not have an army. Said, "Don't make an army more. We'll help you out if you need help, but you are not to mobilize again."
Interesting. I should probably pay
We're a
attention to
global
history
bully.
and stuff more.
What do you say,
I
Dom?
mean,
Dom
maybe.
said we're a global bully,
I
and
said we're the global
he
bully.
is correct.
Yeah,
Um, Italy was also Axis in World War II, right?
yeah. That's why
Yes.
I said. That's why I said like they just like the main characters were all either Japanese, Italian, or German. And I was like, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
d-
Also,
d-
tuberculosis is very contagious. That's
yeah, I think they kiss at
she
one
was
point, and
just
she says, "You're gonna get this," and he says,
he was just fucking. She was just running around the fucking train station, and
Yeah.
"Huh."
You know, it. Don't worry about it because, as Brennan said, she doesn't exist. So
Well,
that's true.
in
We've
like
erased her from history.
in the real version, I don't think she's a real character, but uh, in the real version, he does make planes that fucking blow up Hawaii. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I need to gather my thoughts more on this film. Maybe my opinion on it will change over time, but it was just okay.
it was
Like,
fine.
which was the German scientist that made the A bomb? Was it Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Was that him?
I don't know. That's why I said we're all sons of bitches earlier.
Yeah. I am become death.
I should probably
Uh,
just play all the
yep.
Wolfenstein games and get my history that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Of course
it'll give you a good what would happen if Japan had like some weird technology.
Do you think that there was
Mecha Hitler
uh
and whatnot.
well
Wait, is Mecha
no
Hitler in Wolfenstein?
we know Mecha Hitler existed.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Mike. Japan weren't Nazis though, right? They were just aligned with Germany, right?
They were alive, yeah.
But they weren't Nazis.
I guess.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
They were communist.
Yeah,
Was
I mean,
Italy Nazis too? They were, right? Because they had
They were
fucking.
communists.
no, the Nazis themselves, and this is
The
what we're
Nazi
gonna.
Party is
Is
a
just in
German
Germany.
thing.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna
Now this is becoming past the controller goes into World War II history.
yeah, uh,
We don't
which is gonna.
we don't
God
have
damn it,
time for that shit.
we're talking about this and now. My thing's gonna sound even dumber when I start.
That's fine.
I'm just happy you remember
That's
your
fine.
thing. Just tell your thing, like, because this is.
Which is essentially, what if the school where Miss Frizzle taught had like a history teacher who also had their own magic school bus that would travel through time
You're
and
right. It
teach?
does sound dumber now.
Yeah, exactly, right? We're talking about the Nazis and how we clearly don't know what they did.
I mean, I know the broad strokes of what they did, and
Yeah,
it was fucking
broad
horrible
strokes,
things.
broad strokes. But we're like, we're Japanese? Anyway.
I was like I know the Nazis
It
were
was a
like technically a political
party,
party. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if like
and they had an ideology.
that like
and that
ideology also
ideology-
went to Japan.
No, as my understanding was, there was something about the Japanese people that, on some level, they liked. I don't know, the like a fan of saying, yeah, "We like the cut of your jib, guys."
I mean, I would imagine, again, I have no fucking idea, and I'm really speaking way out of fucking turn here, but I would imagine that like part of the Nazi sentiment was like anti-immigrant, just in general, like flat out anti-immigrant. I don't know if
No.
other country. No, it wasn't. Okay, never mind.
They were just pro-Aryan.
Pro-Aryan. I think they essentially said that the Japanese were like the Aryan version of the Far East, if that makes sense. Like they are the pure-blooded people of that side of the world.
You guys stay over there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We like you guys. You guys stay over there.
We need
We
to
are breaking down history into a very very broad strokes here.
We really needed Todd to like rein us in with
Some
Imagine
other off topic.
Yeah, imagine if Todd was actually just well versed in World War II.
I feel like Todd
He just had
probably
all
has
these-
some knowledge of this stuff. If by anything, just from like I don't know, watching war movies, however accurate those are. Todd watched Dunkirk. What is that about? One of the war wars?
I also watched Dunkirk.
I have no fucking idea. I don't watch war movies.
You know which movie is about the World Wars?
What?
Pearl Harbor.
I did watch Pearl Harbor. I don't know.
With Ben Affleck.
All I know, the only thing that I can like stand my fucking feet here on below my chair and say confidently that I know about war is that war fucking never changes.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
That's where I was gonna go next, Mike.
I went with war never changes is the follow-up quote, right?
War never changes the follow-up quote. Yeah.
Also, remember that point in time where like everyone was like redoing that fucking Hitler meme? I don't know what that's from. I'm assuming it's from a movie I've just never seen.
From a movie. It's from a movie. I believe it is a German film because I think it's actually all.
That was like the hot jam for a while. Like that was like everyone would put everything into that, and like sometimes it was real fucking good. Like it was perfect.
Yeah. Just watching him freak out and like you could probably do that now with that scene and like him freaking out about. I don't know. Let's say like the Switch reveal, the Switch OLED reveal.
Oh yeah. Oh, someone could cut that real good. Chop that up real nice. It has applications.
I suppose Inglourious Bastards is also about World War II.
I have seen that.
Not historical, but
No. But,
Inglourious is Quentin Tarantino, correct?
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino also apparently a very big fan of blaxploitation and pulls a lot of inspiration for certain things in his movies.
yeah, Jackie Brown is a very
So yeah.
It's one of his films.
But anyways, this is like definitely we've gone far off the deep end. We should have stopped this like 20 minutes ago. It's time to reel it in. Fucking cut the tape.
Is Saving Private Ryan also? It's World War One though, right?
I don't know which one it is.
I
I didn't
I
watch it.
love Brother, Where Art Thou? Isn't that like a Tom Hanks war movie?
I mean,
Oh, Brother, Where
yes.
Art Thou? Isn't that like a
That's George Clooney.
oh? Isn't that like a thing people love? Isn't that like a fucking
Yeah, I mean, it was a well-liked movie, I believe.
I don't know if it's a TV show or movie. I don't have no fucking idea. Again, like war stuff is like I you got me. I don't care about war stuff. Like I don't really watch war movies. I don't really play war video games. I don't
I
know.
get all the war I need from all the various Gundam shows.
Outside of the Star Wars, that's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, that was good.
Anyways, this is fucking off the fucking deep end. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode 270 of the Past Controller Podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can share us on social media, let someone know about the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you can leave delicious podcast reviews. We know you're listening. I can see the numbers. I know there are people out there that listen to the show on a regular basis and haven't taken the time to leave us a review. Even if you don't listen to us on Apple Podcasts, hop in there. Give us that quick little 5-star, little couple words maybe if you're feeling like it. It'll make my day. It'll make us all feel real good. And it'll maybe bump us up that algorithm. You know, maybe someone else can discover us because you took the quick minute to leave us a nice review. Anyways, if you have a few bucks kicking around and you want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways too. You can subscribe to us on Twitch at twitch.tv/passcontroller. You can become a patron at patreon.com/passcontroller, and you can buy some sick swag from passcontroller.threadless.com. And if you want to keep the conversation up with us in our community, you can join our Discord server and come hang and kick it with all of us there. As always, you can find me at bgroom. You can find Mike at _MichaelPath. You can find Dom at PTC _OneLittleSpark. And you can find everything we do at PassController.io and on Twitter and Instagram at PassController. And thank you again, all of you lovely people out there, for listening to this week's episode 270 of the Pass Controller Podcast.